Today we're going to learn about countable and uncountable nouns, which are very important when we talk about food, restaurants, and everyday situations. Understanding this difference helps you use words like a, some, much, or many correctly, and it will make your English sound much more natural. Let's start with countable nouns. These are nouns that we can count, like apple, burger, table, or dish. Because we can count them, they can be singular or plural. When we use a singular countable noun, we always need a determiner before it. For example, we say a burger, an apple, or a menu. We also use words like this, that, or possessives like my and your, his, or her. For example, this menu is great, or that dish is delicious, or my burger is very big. We can also use for example, the chef is very good. Remember that with singular countable nouns, we use a singular verb like the burger is tasty or the menu looks interesting. Now let's look at plural countable nouns. These are nouns with more than one item, like burgers, drinks, or tables. In general, we don't need a determiner. For example, I like burgers, or menus are on the table. However, we often use determiners like these and those. For example, these drinks are cold, or those desserts are sweet. We can also use possessives like these are my sweets, or those are her orders. Other useful words are some, any, or no. For example, do you want any desserts? Or we have some salads, or there are no tables available. We can also use expressions like a lot of or lots of. For example, there are a lot of people in the restaurant. With plural countable nouns, we use plural verbs like the dishes are ready or the customers are happy. We can also use numbers, for example, we ordered 2 pizzas or there are 5 bottles of water. Now let's talk about uncountable nouns. These are nouns that we cannot count, like water, wine, food, rice, or information. We don't use a or an with these nouns. For example, we say, I drink water or I like fast food, not a water or a food. However, we can use determiners like this, that, or possessives. For example, this wine is excellent or my food is cold. We can also use that, for example, the food is ready. With uncountable nouns, we often use words like some, any, or no. For example, do you want some water? Or we don't have any coffee, or there is no sugar. We can also say a lot of or lots of. For example, we drank a lot of champagne. Other common expressions are much, a little, or a bit of. For example, there isn't much water, or add a little salt, or I'd like a bit of cheese. In a restaurant, this grammar is very useful. For example, you can say, I'd like a salad and a soft drink, because both are countable. But you say, I'd like some water, because water is uncountable. You can also say, we ordered 3 desserts, or there is a lot of food on the table. If you are sharing, you might say, let's share a dish, or let's order some rice and a curry. To finish, remember that countable nouns can be counted and have singular and plural forms, while uncountable nouns cannot be counted and usually have no plural form. Practice this when you talk about food, drinks, and restaurants, and you will see your English improve quickly.